Apple just dropped some new watchOS and health app features. A new 30-year study completely redefines how often you should be lifting weights, and groundbreaking clinical data reveals an amazing hidden benefit to GLP-1 medications. We're breaking down the 4 biggest stories in health and fitness right now. The news is next. Stand by. Welcome to Fitness News Brief, episode number 38. My name's Jeff. Let's get right into the news articles for today. So let me share my screen with everybody. Everybody might know by now, Apple WWDC was held yesterday, and they have a whole bunch of new software releases, but only a couple of them pertain to the health app and the Apple Watch. The features that are coming out. So you know me, I just share the news and I give you some locations to go check out the actual features. I don't go into real depth into what those features are. I have some really good YouTube personalities and influencers that I watch and I pay attention to, and DC Rainmaker is one of my absolute favorites when it comes to health and fitness technology. So come over here and check this out. I'll leave a link to this article in the description below. But the new features, there isn't a super whole lot, but there is some good features coming out. So we'll read just a little bit about what they are. So Apple just announced its Apple Watch related updates that'll be coming as part of watchOS 27 later this year. As a quick refresher, Apple has changed their operating system naming, so everybody knows all that, to its Apple Watch software number 27. It corresponds with the year. The iPad and the iPhone are the same exact thing. Let's see, with the backstory, this year was expected to be pretty low-key for Apple Watch related WWDC announcements. In fact, we look at Apple's platform announcement overall. They lean very heavily on improvements to existing features. Many of them were performance related and or privacy related, and of course lots of AI related features that don't really apply to Apple Watch, at least for the time being. In this post, I'll quickly cover all the new features, but expect more hands-on details in the July timeframe or whenever the public beta release is, where undoubtedly we'll find out more things than Apple Watch announced in their keynote. Usually only a handful of things make it to the keynote. So look for the Apple Watch features to come out. I'll leave a couple links. I'll leave a link to this article here by DC Rainmaker. I'll also leave a link to DC Rainmaker's YouTube video, and another really good health tech influencer that I follow, DeskFit. I'll leave a link to his article on YouTube. It's a quick little video on YouTube about the Apple Watch updates coming out soon. And of course, we'll know an awful lot more as the coming days, as people dig into the new features that are coming out. So let's move on to the next article. This one is excellent for GLP-1 medication users. So Ozempic and similar weight loss drugs linked to 30% lower breast cancer risk. So popular GLP-1 weight loss drugs may have an unexpected bonus, a significantly lower risk of breast cancer. So I just found out in the last week or so, a really close female family member of mine has gone on to GLP-1s. I think everybody knows how I feel about GLP-1s. I'm kind of in the middle about them. If they are medically necessary and they can really help do things for you, absolutely go for it. If it's doctor recommended and you feel you need it, go for it. I'm not a super big fan of one. I would always love to see everybody try to lose weight and get in shape naturally, but if you cannot, or if you feel you have other health risks or things like that that GLP-1s can help, absolutely go for it. That's between you and your doctor and you personally. So, but yeah, I just found out that a really good family member of mine is on a GLP-1, and she's going to be my case study. I sent her this article yesterday. I'm still waiting to hear back after she reads it, but for the female GLP-1 users, this is excellent, excellent news. Anything that can reduce cancer risk, breast cancer, colon, whatever, I'm all about that. I've been touched in my family by breast cancer multiple times by people very, very close to me. So I see this as a huge benefit. So on to the study. A large study found that women taking GLP-1 drugs, the medication class behind Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Zepbound, were about 30% less likely to develop breast cancer. Researchers say the findings are promising, but not yet proof, and clinical trials are now being planned to test whether these drugs could help prevent breast cancer or at least reduce it. I can't share the link to the actual study, but if you come over here and read this article by Science Daily, I will have you can get to the actual study through the link below down here. YouTube and the medical journal does not allow me to share the actual link to the study. I did read over the study. It's pretty good. So absolutely, if this pertains to you, stop over and read this article and get to the bottom there and check out that medical study. But this is huge, huge, huge news for GLP-1. Female GLP-1 users. This could help prevent or at least mitigate the chances of you getting breast cancer. So I thought it was really good, and I wanted to share it with everybody. So there you go. So, and of course, I'll leave links to the description in the description below for you to check this out. So moving on to our next article. This was from Men's Journal. A 30-year study reveals the exact amount of weekly exercise you need to drastically lower your risk of somewhere it said all mortality, all types of mortality. So the risk of death, it says here. Longevity may come down to just a few hours of the right training. So the key points to this article: strength training 90 to 120 minutes weekly lowers your risk of death from all causes. Combining strength and aerobic exercise yields the lowest mortality risk, about 45% lower. And strength training is the closest thing we have to prescription against aging, says Dr. Calendine. So as if you needed another reason to start strength training or stick to your long ingrained habit, a new long-term study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine suggests that strength training for about 90 to 120 minutes per week is linked to a lower risk of death from all causes, especially when paired with aerobic exercise. So the long-term study followed more than 147,000 adults for up to 30 years and found that people who consistently engaged in relatively moderate resistance training had significantly lower risks of all-cause cardiovascular and neurological disease mortality compared to those who did not strength train at all. Who did no strength training at all. Researchers analyzed data from 3 major long-running studies, and participants reported their exercise habits every 2 years, including both resistance training and aerobic activity. Aerobic activities included brisk walking, running, swimming, cycling, tennis, squash, strenuous outdoor work, and stair climbing. Strength training included exercises with weights and body weight. So this is an excellent article for you to read if you're into strength training, or like this says, as if you needed another reason to start strength training or to look into strength training. This is excellent, excellent news. And this isn't a short-term study. I mean, 30 years is quite some time there. So the Ozempic study That one was, I do believe, about 3 years long. So that's pretty long-term study on that one also. But the same thing pertains to this article here. Because this is a British medical journal study, I can't leave a link to the actual study, but there is a link here in this article that will take you over to the actual study for you to read. So moving on to my fourth article here, the Oura Ring 4. Oura Ring 4 and Fitbit, they paired them together. So it says Oura Ring versus Fitbit Air. I've worn both side by side for 2 weeks. Here are my honest thoughts on the trackers. The Oura Ring and Fitbit Air are two wellness-focused trackers with plenty of benefits, but which one should you buy? I do know that the Oura Ring is a subscription service, where the Fitbit Air, I do believe, is going to be a free service. These days, fitness trackers are more than a watch that counts your steps. Innovation has recently included the Oura Ring 4, a sleek ring-shaped tracker that has that and These days, fitness trackers are more than a watch that counts your steps. Innovation has recently included the Oura Ring 4, a sleek ring-shaped tracker, and the faceless Fitbit Air, only released very recently. Both of these trackers are one common advantage. They track your steps, workouts, sleep, stress, and vitals, review this data, and then tell you how to structure your day and routine for the better. I've worn my Oura Ring for the best part of a year now, having switched from Oura 3 to Oura 4. I've spent the past few weeks with the Fitbit Air on my wrist after it was released in May, putting me in the perfect position to compare the two. So here's the comparison here. They give you a price breakdown here. They give you the specs here. The Oura Ring versus the Fitbit Air design. And what she says here, I've been wearing my Fitbit Air for 2 weeks now and often forgotten it was there. It's a little itchy on my wrist for the first few days, but that feeling went away. The only downside that I can use, it has a regular timepiece, so a double strap by a wrist with a regular watch as well. So this is an excellent comparison of the new Fitbit Air that came out a couple weeks back compared to the Oura Ring 4. So I thought everybody would like this, since the Fitbit Air just came out a few weeks ago compared to a couple other fitness trackers. I'm sure there's a whole lot more things out there on YouTube about comparisons that puts the Fitbit Air up against, say, the Apple Watch or the Whoop Band or things like that. So if that interests you, I'm sure you can hop on YouTube and check those out, but this one I wanted to share with everybody. So one last little thing about Brooks shoes. If you're a fan of Brooks shoes, which I am, I almost exclusively wear Brooks. I do have a couple pairs of Hokas. I do like the Hokas, but I do like the Brooks better. So could Brooks be the running brand to beat? One of the most iconic brands is taking its U.S. momentum global as more top-performing athletes join the roster. The running boom has been met by an increasingly saturated market as legacy brands go toe-to-toe with trendy newcomers looking to capture an expanding audience of marathoners, run clubbers, and 5Kers alike. Brooks Running seems to be taking advantage of this growth while also holding on to its long-standing following of tried and true reputation. So I'll leave a link to this description here in the description below, so you can come over here and read this article about Brooks shoes. They are expanding into global markets, and they're taking on more professional athletes to their marketing campaign, which is a good sign for Brooks and their growth in the running shoe industry. So that's going to be it for me for this episode. Thank you everybody for watching. Throw me some comments in the comments below and let me know how you feel about this, the articles in today's News brief. If you're a female user of Ozempic or any of the other GLP-1 medications, drop me some links below. I'd like to hear from you about how they're working out for you and how you feel about the reduced risk of breast cancer. I'd love to interact with everybody in the comments, so let's start some conversations about the topics this week on the news brief. So again, thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you soon in the next episode. Everybody stay blessed, and I'll see you soon.